Hi, this is Dr. Jana and you are watching video series with me on C programming language. We have a number of materials, number of videos, but let us learn C beyond the syllabus and beyond the book, and let us learn it professionally. In this video, we will be covering a lot of things, especially starting from the what is C, the structure of C program, applications of C, the features of C, the single line comment and multiple line comments, tokens, variables, data type, how it takes input and output, the various operators with example, the control statement, decision making, add loop. So this is the very fundamental part of our C programming language, and once we understand these basics and other things, we go for this like the functions and other part also, pointers. Here now let us understand it professionally. We have a number of definitions for the C programming language. We say C is a general purpose, it is a procedural and middle level programming language. So we need to understand what is this general purpose, what is this procedural, and what is this middle level language. And it is also a machine independent programming language. That means you write in any machine, it can run in others without any modification. So it mainly used to create many types of applications and operating systems. Even if what are the operating systems you are using, Windows, etc., that is also created out of C. And other complicated programming such as the Oracle database, the Git, Python interpreter, and also the various gaming software, and it is considered a programming foundation in the process of learning any other programming languages. So it is also called the mother language. Now see the main features of our C language. It is general purpose, it is portable, it's clear. Then it is low level memory access, fast speed and clean syntax. These are the few things, the few features, main features. It is also called a universal language. It is also a powerful programming language. It is fast and reliable. In C, many libraries and tools are available that facilitate its use. The procedure, we talk about the first thing is the procedural language. Let us have a clarity about what is this procedure. A procedure is known as a function or a method or routine, subroutine, etc. And a procedural language, it is a specifies a series of steps for the program to solve the problem. So step by step program or procedure we follow to solve the problem. A procedural language breaks the program into functions, data structures, etc. And C is a procedural language. In C, the variables and function prototypes must be declared before being used. Then we talk about C is a structured programming language. This structured programming language, it is a subset of the procedural language. Here structure means to break a program into parts or blocks so that they may be easy to understand. In the C language, we break the program into parts using functions. It makes the program easier to understand and also easy to modify. C is considered as a middle level language because it supports the feature of both low level and high level language. So C language program is converted into assembly code and it supports pointer arithmetic, that is the very low level, but it is machine independent, that is a feature of high level language. That's why we call C it as a middle level language. Now what is this low level language and what is this high level language? We must have some idea about that one. A low level language is a specific to one machine, that is machine dependent. It is machine dependent and it is fast to run, but it is not easy to understand and remember. Okay, just like the 0 and 1, just like the machine understandable languages, binary numbers. A high level language, it is not specific to one machine, that is machine independent, it is easy to understand, but it is it depends on the machines for each machine. Okay. Then let us have our first program. Whenever you write a program in C, we give a name to that program and also put an extension of .c. Say for example, my program is program1.c. Here the very first line of code we start with our C programming, that is hash include, we put some header files stdio dot, that is the input standard library input and output. Then integer main, the main function here. Then the body of the function starts with the curly braces. We declare the variable integer a is equal to 10. Then I want to print up, that is with integer percentage d comma a. Then return 0, that means it successfully done executed. Okay. So this is the thing, how do we understand this program. So let us in general have the structure of the C program. In the first line we see hash include stdio, this is the header file. Then integer main we put void, that is the main function starts here, and this is the body of the function. So what is there in between these curly braces. Suppose I want to write the statement hello world. So print function or method, whatever you say, inside that we want to print hello world. So every statement it is to be end with one semicolon, that I put it there, then return 0. Okay, close this body. Okay. So this is the general structure. Now let us understand what is this. Now the first thing is a header file. We have given stdio.h. Header file is a file with extension of .h, which contains C functions, declarations and macro definitions to be shared between several source files. And all lines that start with hash, that you can see hash include, are pre-processed by preprocessor, which is a program invoked by the compiler. So we have a number of header files like stdio.h defines core input and output functions, stdlib.h defines numeric conversions functions, pseudo-random network generator and memory allocations, string.h it defines string handling functions. Like that we are having a number of header files, right. Then we declare the main functions, main method, whatever you say. It is the entry point of a C program, and the execution typically begins with the first line of this main function. At the empty braces, whatever the curly braces starts, and you see in the main function the empty braces, empty brackets, it indicates that the main does not take any parameter, there is no parameter here. Okay. And the integer that is written before the main, integer main I am writing, it indicates the return type of this main function, and the value returned by the main indicates the status of program termination. If it is 0, so it terminates successfully. The body of a functions in the C program refers to statements that are part of these functions. Okay. And it can be anything, like it can be the manipulations, the searching, the sorting, the printing, etc. And a pair of curly brackets define the body of the functions, and all functions must start and end with curly brackets only. It's clear. So now let us go to the statement. The statements are the instructions given to the compiler. In C, a statement is always terminated by a semicolon. I already told you. In this particular case, the program what I have given, we use printf function to instruct the compiler to display what is there inside that hello world text in the screen, on the screen. The last part of any C function is the return statement. The return statement refers to the return value from a function, and these return statements and return value depends upon the return type of the functions. And the return statements in our program returns the value from main method, main function. The return value may be used by an operating system to know the termination status of our program, and the value 0 typically means this is successful terminations. Is it clear? So this is the explanation to this thing. Now let us see, if you see the structure, first one is the preprocessor directives, then the global declarations before the function, then integer main, the main function starts here, then the local declaration and some statements you put it there, main function over, even other function also you can put it here. Here while you are going for the syntax, you write hash include stdio.h. This is the preprocessor directive to include standard input output functions to the program. Here integer main, the main function starts here, and here the printf function we are using, inside that hello world, this is the string it is to be displayed, return 0. So while you run, the output will come hello world, this is the output, right. So how we run it? So we have a number of IDs, but I recommend to go for these code blocks for running C in the window platform. We just go to the browser, search code block, you specially go for the latest version now available 20.03 mingw setup.exe file, download, install, and the IDE is ready. Type any program, save with a name and extension.c. So build the program, run it, you can see the output. So this is the thing what exactly we go for this thing. Now let us go for some of the application of C. As I told you that it is a general purpose. So starting from a small application to even creating the operating system and application software, everywhere you can use C. See some of the important applications of C. Operating systems like C is widely used for developing operating systems such as Unix, Linux and Windows. Even if for embedded systems, C is a popular language for developing embedded systems such as microcontrollers, microprocessors and other electronic devices. System software, C is used for developing system software such as device drivers, compilers, assemblers, etc. For networking, C is widely used for developing networking applications such as web servers, network protocols and network drivers. Then the database systems, C is used for developing database systems such as Oracle, MySQL and PostgreSQL, and for gaming also we use C. Then artificial intelligence, C is also used for developing artificial intelligence and machine learning applications such as neural networks and deep learning algorithms. For other scientific applications and also financial applications, everywhere you use C. Okay, so these are some of the applications, but we are having a number of applications. Now let us see some of the features of C programming languages. You can see the main feature, C is a procedural language, it is fast and efficient, the modularity is there. So with small we can statically type. Then it is general purpose language. We have a rich set of built-in operators. There are number of libraries and rich functions are available. It is a middle level language, portability is there, easy to extend. So all these are the features of the C programming language. These are the features of the C programming language. Now one by one let us define what is this procedural language. I told you that in a procedural language like C, the step by step, it follows the step by step predefined instructions to carry out. Then C program may contains more than one functions to perform a particular task. Then what is statistical type? C programming language is a statically typed language, meaning the type of variables is checked at the time of compilations but not at runtime. This means each time a programmer types a program, they have to mention the type of variables used. Then the general purpose language, from system programming to photo editing softwares, the C programming language is used in various applications. So it is a general purpose language. Then the middle level language, I told you that it is a middle level language, so that it has the combination from this both capabilities of the assembly language and the feature of the high level languages. Okay, low level and high level languages. Portability, programs that are written in C languages can run and compile on any system with either no or very small changes, and easy to extend. Programs written in C language can be extended, means when a program is already written in it, then some more features and operations can be also added to this one. So this is the thing. Then we go for how do we compile and what happens to this compiling of a source code. What about the writing program we are writing? The compilations is the process of converting the source code of the C language to machine code, because what you are writing the machine doesn't understand. So converting source code to the machine code, we call it as this compiling. As C is a middle level language, it needs to compile, it needs a compiler to convert it to an executable code so that the program can be run in our machine. The C program goes through the following phases of durations. You see here, what is the source code. In the source code, then we go for the preprocessor, the preprocessed file with the .i extension. Then we go for the compiling, that means it is converted to assembly code with the .s file. Then we go for the assembler, it converts the object file .o file, then the linker, and you go for the execution. So this is the phases during the compilation process takes place. Then how to write a comment in C? The comment, you know, the self-explanatory part. So when a new person comes and work with that one, some self-explanation is given there. So we have two type of comments. One is the single line comments that starts with the double forward slash line, and just I have given this is a single line comment, that is the red color, you can see it here. So after this double forward slash, whatever comment you are writing in one line, this is called a single line comment. If you go for multi-line comments, then start with the one forward slash and star sign. In between whatever things you write, then the star sign and the forward slash. So what are the content inside? They are all the multi-line comments, right? Then the most important part we are going to cover, that is the tokens in C. A token in C can be defined as the smallest individual element of the C programming language that is meaningful to the compiler, and it is a basic component of a C program. What are the different type of tokens in C? The token in C languages can be classified into 6 types based on the functions they are used to perform. What are they? One is the keywords, one is the identifiers, the constants, strings, special symbols and operators. So you can see the token C, all the 6 number here, keywords, operators, identifiers, then constants, strings and special symbols, all the things are the tokens in C. Now let us take one by one. First we go for the keywords. The keywords are predefined or reserved words in a programming language like C, and each keyword is meant to perform a specific function in the program. Since keywords are referred names for a compiler, they cannot be used as variable names, because by doing so you are trying to assign a new meaning to the keyword which is not allowed. So like the auto, break, case, character, constant, continue, default, do, double, else, enumerator, extern, float, for, go to, if, int, int, integer, long, register, return, sort, signed, size up, static, structure, switch, type of, type definition, union, unsigned, void, volatile and while. So these are all the keywords which are already reserved and pre-processed, predefined. Then we are going for the other tokens like the identifiers. The identifiers are used as the general terminology for the naming of variables. Not only variable, it is the variables, functions and arrays. These are user defined names consisting of an arbitrarily long sequence of letters and digits with either a letter or the underscore at the first character. Identifier names must differ in spelling and case from any keywords. We cannot use keywords as identifiers, and they are reserved for special use. Once declared, we can use the identifier in later program statements to refer to the associated value, and a special identifier called a statement label can be used in the go to statements, right? So then we go for the next token, that is the constants. The constants refer to the variables with fixed values. They are like normal variables, but with the difference that their values cannot be modified in the program once they are defined. So throughout the program it is same. The constant may be belong to any of the data types. Say example, constant in C, constant integer C underscore var is 20. Similarly, we go for the strings. Strings are nothings but an array of characters ended with a null character, that is /0. This null character indicates the end of the string. Strings are always enclosed in double quotes, whereas a character is enclosed in a single quotation in C and other things. You see, character string I am writing a character GUNA. So this is the all the things. At the end I am putting /0. I am talking about the characters. But when I am going for the strings, so character string 20 I am writing Gunamani, like that. At the end we are putting a semicolon. This is the syntax I already told you, right? Then we are having special symbols. We are having brackets, we are having parentheses, we are having braces, we are having comma, colon, semicolon. All the things it has specific uses. So opening and closing brackets are used an array elements references. Similarly, parentheses, so these are special symbols are used for indicating a function or calls a function, parameter, etc. These braces, these opening and ending curly braces mark the start and end of the block, okay, for containing the executable statements. This comma is used to separate more than one statement. Colon, this is an operator that essentially invokes some things called an initialization, etc. Semicolon, it is known as the statement terminator. So these are the some of the special symbols, okay. Similarly, asterisk, it is used to create the pointer. Then assignment operator, it is used to assign values to the operations validation. Preprocessor hash we are using. The preprocessor is a a macro processor that is used automatically by the compiler to transform your program before actual compilations. Then period used to access members of a structure or union. Then we are using tilde, it is used as a restructor for to free some spaces from this memory. So these are some of the special things. Then we are going for the another token like the operators. Operators are symbols that trigger an action when applied to C variables and other objects. The data items on which operators acts are called the operands. Depending on the number of operands, the operator can act upon operators and can be classified into the following. One is the unary operators, binary operators, ternary operators. Unary operators, those operators that require only a single operand and act upon are known as unary operators. Similarly, binary operators, these operators that require two operands to act upon, and these are called like the arithmetic operators, the relational operators, the logical operators, assignment operators, and bitwise operators. These are called the binary operators. Similarly, the ternary operators, the operator that requires three operands to act, like the conditional operator, etc., we call it the ternary operators, right? So these are the some of the things. Then we are going for the variable. A variable in C language is the name associated with some memory locations to store data in different types. There are many type of variables in C depending on the scope, storage class, lifetime, and also type of data they store, etc. And a variable is the basic building block of C programming that can be used in expression as a substitute in place of the value it stores. So for example, I write integer var, that is an integer variable, char a, it is a character variable, float something ff, this is a float variable. So this is the syntax. First you write the definition, then you go for the initializations, first the data type, then the variable name, which is called the value. Okay. Now you see I write char code, the variable type is char and the variable's identifier is code. Integer I, variable type is integer, like that all the things you can see in a program. There are three aspects of defining a variable. First one is the variable declaration, second one is the variable definition, third one is the variable initializations. The variable declaration in C tells the compiler about the existence of the variable with the given name and data type. Is clear? No memory is allocated to a variable in the declaration. The declaration, the memory is not allocated, just to declare a name. Variable definitions, in the definitions of C variable, the compiler allocates some memory. Remember, in the variable definition, it allocates some memory and some values to it. A defined variable will contain some random garbage value till it is not initialized. For example, integer var, character var2, like that all the things we go for the variable definitions. Then we go for the variable initialization. Initializations of a variable is the process where the user assigns some meaningful values to the variable. For example, I say integer var and var is equal to 10. Same thing we can make it integer var is equal to 10 and a semicolon. Okay. Then rules for naming the variable in C. We can assign any name to the variables as long as it follows the following rules. A variable name must only contains alphabets, digits and underscore. A variable name must start with an alphabet or an underscore. It cannot start with a digit. No white spaces is allowed within the variable name. A variable name must not be any reserved words or the keywords which is already used. Right. Then we are having the number of variables in C, like the local variable, local variables, global variables, static variables, automatic variables, external variables and register variables. First let us see what is the local variable in C. A local variable in C is a variable that is declared inside a function or a block or a block of code. Its scope is limited to the block of the function, in which it is declared. It cannot beyond the function, it will won't work. Similarly, for example, we see here I declare here I am writing a program here that is hash include stdio.h. So void functions, I declare the variable integer x is equal to 10. So this is a local variable. So print x means, so the value x will be done here, but outside the suppose integer main function it will something, it won't come. It's clear. Similarly, we can go for some global variables in C. Global variable C is a variable that is declared outside the function or a block of code. Its scope is the whole program. We can access the global variables anywhere in the C program after it is declared. Say for example, I say hash include stdioh and integer x is equal to 20. So this I can include inside the function and outside also. Clear? So then I show void function 1, void function 2 and print up this is equal to. So in this function also I can use that one, x is equal to 20, this function also I can. So all these things output will come 20 and 20. Clear? Similarly, the static variables in C. A static variable in C is a variable that is defined using the static keyword. It can be defined only once in a C program and its scope depends upon the region where it is declared. It can be a global or local. The default values of the static variable is 0. So let us have an idea about these things. The syntax for the static variable in C, that is the static word first you read, then the data type, then the variable name which is equal to initial values. That is the things we declare. So here you can see then I write the hash include studio stdio.h, then void function, then integer x is equal to 20, this is the local variable, then I say static integer y, that is 30, that is a static variable. So x is equal to x plus 10, y is equal to y plus 10. So print x and y. Then I call this integer main, then I go for the first call function, second call function and the third call functions. You get it now. So then when you run this program, you can clearly understand what is the scope of this local and the static variable. Then another automatic variable in C. All the local variables are automatic variables by default. They are also known as the auto variables. Their scope is local and their lifetime is till the end of this block. If we need, we can use the auto keywords to define the auto variables, and the default variable of the auto variables is a garbage value, right? So these are the variables. Here you see the example, one of the example it is given integer x is equal to 10, auto integer y is equal to 0. So all the things we can do, this program we can run and we can also see the outputs, there is nothing wrong. Then we have another type of variable, that is the external variable in C. The external variable in C can be shared between the multiple C files. We can declare external variables using the external keywords like the extern, data type, variable names. You can see all things. Then like that we are having a register variable in C. The register variable in C are those variables that are stored in the CPU register instead of the conventional storage in the RAM. So their scope is local and exist till the end of the block or a function. These variables are declared using the register keyword. So their default values of register variables is a garbage value. So the syntax is like register space data type variable name, then the initial value. Okay, this is one register integer var is equal to 22. All things we can go for that. It's clear. Then another thing we are having, that is the constant variable in C. Till now we have only seen the variables whose values can be modified any number of times, but C language also provides us a way to make the value of a variable immutable. We can do that by defining the variable as constant. A constant variable in C is a read-only variable whose values cannot be modified once it is say constant keywords. For its constant, this is the syntax, you can see it here. Okay, so you put it constant, integer constant, that is 20, so we cannot change it, right? Then the scope of a variable, it is the region in which the variable exists and it is valid to perform operations on it. Beyond the scope of the variable, we cannot access it and it is said to be out of scope, right? Then immediately we go for the data types in C. So this we can take in our next video. I hope this is the very fundamental things I covered in this video. So if you like this video, please do share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe this channel also. And also take care of your health and have a good day. Thank you for watching this video once again.